Knowledge is the key. Oh man, knowledge is the key.
You are welcome to the winning platform tagged Winning by Knowledge. The Holy Spirit is a divine facilitator, but not a replacement for the human brain. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding are three keys that propel great success. The grace of God has brought us freedom, divine enablement, and unlimited favor. However, the grace that is abused will be lost. Any knowledge acquired but not applied has no profitable value. This platform, Winning by Knowledge, teaches a balance between personal responsibility and spiritual enablement as keys to unlimited success. You are welcome to this edition of Winning by Knowledge, anchored by Dr. Victor Falack, a pastor, a teacher, and a human resource developer.
Empowers, can guide you, builds every day, transforms you. Yes, empowers you, can guide you, builds every day, transforms.
We are moving up to the seventh topic on this series on things that God cannot do for us. We've looked at the first 6 topics. The first one was God cannot plan your future. God cannot make decisions for you. Number 3, God cannot think for you. Number 4, God cannot acquire knowledge for you. Number 5, God cannot do your work. Number 6, God cannot fulfill your destiny. And now the 7th one, God cannot perform your administrative responsibilities. So when God gives us an assignment, it is also expected that we carry out some responsibilities, and that will be able to help us to facilitate the assignment that is before us. And God cannot fulfill these responsibilities for us, but we need to do that ourselves. Now, I said God cannot perform your administrative responsibilities. A word of wisdom here says divine assignment comes by divinity, but executed by humanity and facilitated by what? Sound administration. So when God gives you an assignment, you begin to plan towards that assignment, and as you carry out your plan towards the assignment, part of the things that you do to easily facilitate the execution of your assignment is to make sure that you build your administrative framework to make your work easier. Management is the process of administering the affairs of an organization. So in every organization, you must ensure that you put the right peg in the right hole, so that it can be easier for you to achieve your goals and your objectives. Now, there are components of management that you are supposed to carry out, and when you are able to put these components together, then it gives you a good administrative framework. And what are these components? Number 1, planning. Planning is the process of setting out strategies towards achieving set goals or objectives. So whatever that you need to achieve in your organization, you must set out your strategies. What are your winning formula? So if you are not able to get a winning formula, then you know that you will just be going around the cycle over and over and over and over again. So your strategy is that formula that you require for you to be able to win. Is that right mixture that you're supposed to do for you able to break grounds or for you to be able to win? So if you have objectives before you, you need to strategize for you to be able, to succeed in your goals or in your objectives. So planning is the process of setting out strategies towards achieving set goals or objectives. So it is a management function and it is not a divine function. And so you must plan. If you don't plan, don't carry over that responsibility to God and say, I fail, for whatsoever reason. God will not come down to come and begin to carry out your plans for you in your organization, or in your family or wherever that you are. So what are the strategies that are involved in planning? A, identification. Identify your goals. I'm talking about identification of goals and objectives that you expect to achieve. So if I'm setting out certain goals and objectives, either for my ministry or for my business or whatever it is. If you don't have any goal, you don't have any objective, and you just do things the way they come, then you just encounter frustration and you'll be suffering, time in, time out without results. You put in so much effort and you will never see any result. Number 2, formulation of strategies to achieve the set goals or objective. So if I have identified my objective, for example, by saying I want to set up maybe a little business, and all that, and in that business I intend to make a profit of say 1 million naira for the year. So I've been able to set out my objectives, for the year. Then the next thing is formulation of strategies on how to achieve the goal. So how do you think you go about to achieve this 1 million naira benchmark of profit? So you now begin to bring in your strategy. I need to get more customers. I need to locate my business properly, in the right location where I can find my customers. I need to get more customers in addition to the customers that I had last year. When you begin to put all this and begin to itemize them, and go about them, then these are your strategies. These are your strategies: location, new customers, and the rest of them. These are your strategies: innovation, invention, and all those things. When you get all of them, then you now know that you're getting your strategy right. Then number 3, provisions of input and logistics to achieve the strategies. So if I have also brought out my strategies and I have human resource working for me, then I also need to give them the right input for them to work. So where people need money to travel, where people need cars to move around to get new customers, I need to provide them all that. Working tools in the office, I need to give them computer to do some analysis and some projections. I need to get all those things done for them. So it is part of the planning. So you identify, you formulate, and you provide. Item D, implementation of the strategies. You now move on towards implementing your strategies. If you make strategies and you can't implement your strategies, it's as good as you got no strategy. So get your strategies right. The next thing now is what? You implement your strategies. So if you are able to get this right, then that means that you've been able to set out your planning right. So you must plan if you want to succeed. If you don't plan, God will come down from heaven to set out your plans for you, to set out your strategies for you. God will do that for you, but you need to do that yourself. And number 2 component under your administrative framework there is decision making. A decision is a course of action purposely chosen from a set of alternatives to achieve an organizational goal or objective. So at times there is need for you to make a choice between 2 things or more items. You need to make a choice. If you make the wrong choice, it will lead to failure. If you make the right choice, it will lead to success. We saw earlier, where we said God cannot make your decision for you. You need to make the decision yourself. So similarly, in your ministry or in your business or in your family, there are some very strategic decisions that you must make them right. If you get those decisions wrong, then everything will begin to go wrong for you. So you must make sure that you decide right. And in carrying out your decision, what are the processes involved? A, identify the decision. Just like we identified the goals earlier under planning, you need to identify the decision. What is the decision that you want to make? Maybe I have decided to say I want to open a new outlet of my business, maybe in a nearby town. That is a decision. So if I have taken that decision, number 2, gather information. If I am opening a new business, from the city of Jalingo, I want to put up a branch in Abuja, then I need to get to Abuja and get an information in the market in Abuja. How is that product sold in Abuja? Do I have customers in Abuja? And all that. What is the cost of living in Abuja? So you need to get the right information in the market, and all that. So if you're able to get that, then that means you are on your way towards success. So number 1, identify the decision. Number 2, gather the right information. Number 3, identify the alternatives. You may have alternatives. Okay, I have an alternative between Abuja and Lagos, where I need to open up a branch of my business or a branch of my church or whatever it is, I have an alternative. So why must I choose Abuja over Lagos, or why must I choose Lagos over Abuja? These are two alternatives. So based on data available to you, it should be able to guide you right, to get what you want to get right. Then number D, evaluate the alternatives. So by evaluating the alternatives, that simply means that put the alternatives side by side, look at the plus and the minus, look at the pros and the cons. Why must I choose this over the other one? Make sure you weigh your alternatives right. Item E, make a choice. After weighing the alternative, you make a choice. Item F, implement your decision. At the end, again, we are getting back to what? Execution. Implement your decision. If you don't implement the decision, it's no work done. Then item G, the last one, you review your decision. Whatever you do, you go back again and review it. Even after you've implemented it, you can still go back and still make some review again over and over and over and over to make sure that what you improve. The purpose of review is to see how I began. There was mistake along the way. In the process of review, you correct those mistakes, you come back again, and you are better than you were. Number 3 component, communication. This is the process of passing management information to staff of the organization. If you have any information as the director of the organization, if that information is not passed down the chain or to your subordinate, then it's as good as you have no information. And all that. So there must be a communication. The communication must move from a source to a target. The source is where the information is coming from, and the target is the person that is expected to get the information. So he or she must get that information right. If you don't get that information right, things will still go wrong. And there are a lot of ways that communications usually are carried out within an organization. Number 1, budgeting is one of the processes, of communicating to your subordinate. You draw up your budget, and that budget is distributed down the line. And every subordinate or every manager or head of department knows that this is our budget for the year, and in this budget we intend to manufacture 5,000 units of output, and each unit will be sold at so amount, and this is the profit that we are targeting. So if you are looking at it as a manager, already you know the task before you. So budget itself communicates, to those executing it, the position or the vision of management for that very period. So it is important. At times, information may just be pasted on the notice board. You just get to the notice board and you find it there. At times it may be through memorandum and all that. So there are various ways that communication can always get from up down. So it is important that you communicate. Number 4, organization. Organization refers to the coordination or harmonization of persons, departments, or resources working together towards a common result. So when you are working within a system, an organization or a machine, in fact even a human being is a system where you have various parts working together as one, is referred to as a system. So even a human being is a system where you have your eye, your nose, your ears, your hands, your leg, and all that. Your mind or your brain will need to communicate to your leg, and your leg will have to take a journey to walk to somewhere. When you get there, the brain tells the person that, oh, you can sit down now, and all that. So you have many parts relating together, just to achieve one result and all that. A motor vehicle is a system. A manufacturing organization is a system. A church is a system, and all that. So when you have a system and you have various parts, ensure that every part is working in understanding with the other part. For example, in manufacturing organization, at times you discover that one organization manufactures the product, and once they are done with the product, it is a finished product to them, but to another unit within that organization, it may be a raw material. And when the final product is done, it is taken to the marketing department, and the marketing department takes it to the market to sell the products, and having sold it, the money is returned to finance department and all that. And at the end of the day, it all boils down towards achieving the goal of what is our profit at the end of the day. What started on the production floor ended up, in the finance department. So if you don't put your organization to work together as a team or as one, you always run into crisis. So similarly in the church too, where you have subgroup, the choir, the main fellowship, the board of trustees, the pastoral board, and all that, they must work together as a team in harmony. Just like you have a football, you work together as a team. 11 players, but running around the pitch just as one person, just to achieve one goal, and that is to win the match. So organization is very important. Number 5 is directing. Directing, this refers to the process of supervision. When you give out any managerial assignment, you need to supervise your subordinates. If you don't supervise your subordinates, the work will deviate from the standard that it was supposed to be. So it is very important, for you to supervise your work. If you give an assignment and you don't supervise the assignment, no angel will come from heaven to help you supervise your work. Absolutely impossible. So if you give an assignment, supervise the assignment. If you send your subordinates, to get some things manufactured, find out if what they are doing is in line, with the standard or the benchmark that's been given to them. If you send out people in church to say go out for evangelism, get results from them, find out from them, see what they are doing, if they are doing the right thing that they are supposed to be done, and all that. It is very important. If you give an assignment and you don't supervise the assignment, I can assure you that you can never get the standard result that you expect to get. So directing is key and is very, very fundamental to the management process we're talking about. Number 6, control. Control. This is a management tool that deals with the measurement of results. What that simply means is that if I give you if I've given out a benchmark, and haven't done the assignment, I need to go check the benchmark I gave you. Were you able to meet up with the benchmark? In a manufacturing organization, if I gave you 1 bag of flour, and that 1 bag of flour is supposed to produce 1,000 pieces of bread, so that is the benchmark. Then after production, I should check. If you produce 950 pieces of bread, then something is wrong. Then I need to investigate to find out what actually went wrong. That is control. So there are processes of control. Number 1, you set up your standard. Having set up the standard, then you now measure the standard against the actual production. Then you now establish a variance. That is the difference. When you now establish the variance, now investigate what led to the variance. Having carried out the investigation, then finally put up a corrective measure to ensure that maybe you had some wastages, that these wastages do not repeat themselves again. So again, that is very important. Then number 7, and the last one, is motivation. This is a reward system that provides incentive to members of the organization that have done exceptionally well, and to inspire them to do better. So within the management, when people have done well and all that, and you want them to do better again, you can give them some kind of incentive. At times you can give them accelerated promotion, you can give them financial benefits, you can give them some benefits in kind, you can give them some honorary awards, and all that. Once that is done, then you see that people can do more, and people will always want to put in their best. So it is very important for us to understand that God cannot do our managerial responsibility. And if you don't sit up to your managerial responsibility, you discover that things will shift away from what it is supposed to be, and you begin to fail over and over and over. Not because God did not give you that assignment, not because God, did not call you into that ministry and all that, but because there were things that you were supposed to do to facilitate the calling of God over your life, and you didn't do that. There are things you're supposed to do to facilitate your business growth, and you did not do that, and that is the place of administration. So you must make sure that you have a very sound administration, and all that. When you have a sound administration, then you know that you are good to go. The administration will now facilitate the vision that you have already. So if you have a vision and that vision is not backed with sound administration, it will encounter frustration and you cannot get a good result from there. So I want to believe, God, that you've been blessed in this 7th session, of our series on things that God cannot do for us. And if you are blessed, I am happy that you are blessed, even as we plan to move over to our next session.
We have come to the end of episode of the series of our teachings on 10 things that God cannot do for you. From today, I'm sure you have learned to take personal responsibility. So continue learning, continue winning by knowledge. I will see you at the top. In Jesus' name, amen. You are blessed.
God has said, my people, yes, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So win by knowledge. Knowledge is the